Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Well, the economic war waged by the West against the Russians continue. Why do I say that? When the Ukrainians are destroying any Russian refinery, oil facility, gas pipeline, that is not because the Ukrainians, oh my God, destroyed Putin's war machine. It's an attempt by the Americans, by interests behind the Americans, because the Americans are used, remember? Their attempt to destroy, eliminate competition, like they did with gas in Europe. They made the idiots in Europe, keep their mouth shut when someone blew up the Nord Stream 1, Nord Stream 2 pipelines, one of the biggest terrorist acts in the world's history, and we don't know who did it. I know who did it. I have a gut feeling that it was okay. So, but the Europeans imposed sanctions on themselves with natural gas, cheap natural gas from the Russians, without needing to do that. And they buy 3 to 4 times a premium price liquefied natural gas from the United States of America. So the Americans eliminated the competition and they finally sell their shit. All right, there. Now, here is one. And now the same thing happened with the Nord Stream 1, Nord Stream 2 pipelines. So when you see that the Ukrainians are destroying Russian refineries, are maybe under the orders of someone else. Because that someone else, I will show you, the S&P 500 has a problem with that, and not only. The oil prices go up. The Americans don't want that to happen. They don't want that to happen. Therefore, could immediately tell those guys over there, stop bombing the Russian refineries. But they don't. That tells you they support it. That's my feeling, okay? Gut feeling. And since 51% of our society is entitled to have gut feelings as yes, evidence and facts, then I think we, the other 49%, sometimes can use that weasel idiotic way. So let me show you this article. Ukrinform. This is from today, March 15th, 2024. Ukrainian drones attack oil refinery in Kaluga region of Russia, media says. I'm going to show you where Kaluga is located as well. In Russia, on the night of Friday, March 15th, 3 drones hit an oil refinery in the Kaluga region, damaging the company's equipment. So the Americans can destroy the Russian, energy-producing companies, or refineries in this case, but the Russians cannot. I suspect that the Russians will conduct some international terrorism acts against Russian American interests, and then the Americans immediately will say, you can't do that to us, only we can do it to you. Because that's the way strong people fight, Don't tell me smart people, that's a weasel way. Hey, smart, if you call smart weasel, that's fine with me, but it's not smart. You still lose value. Remember, I like to use movies as an examples because people might have seen them, and it's sometimes a great image. And by image, it works better than verbal communication. Image. So remember the movie Troy? All right. What's his name played in it? I can't remember his name. Whatever. Troy, the latest one. What the hell is his name, man? Brad Pitt. All right. He played Achilles. Remember when he fought Patroclus? Jesus Christ, Hector Patroclus. He fought Hector in front of the walls of Troy. Remember? And then at one point, Hector stumbles over a little rock, and Achilles is not killing him. He could have been smart and kill him right there. What did that ancient example for our civilization do? What did he do? He said, get up. I'm not going to allow a rock to steal my glory. We fucking lost that because now we have a Middle Eastern, and when I say that, you know exactly who I'm talking about, mentality, supposedly, because now we are Judeo-Christians. So everywhere you can in the bazaar, have a little exchange, and you fool the other one. I was smart. Here's my money. And now I can give it to the kings with interest. And then I control the kings. Fucking retards. Right? Right. We lost that. I'm not saying that the Greeks did not do that at times, but still, watch that little sequence, that little portion with, as I said, Achilles versus Hector in front of the that. So again, if you consider that being smart, okay, good, Judeo-Christian, good. Move on. The governor of Kaluga region, Vladislav Shapsha, said the Russian air defense forces shot down 4 drones over the region's territory at night with no casualties or damage to infrastructure. Kaluga. Ram-pam-pam. This is Ukraine. We go here. Kaluga is towards Moscow. This is Moscow right here. This is Kaluga. So in between Ukraine and Moscow, in Kaluga, these guys shot it with drones. They're getting closer to Moscow. I guarantee you they will attack it more and more. If they have missiles, they will shoot at Moscow just like this. And I'm waiting for the Kerch Bridge. Okay, let's move on. However, Astra found out that only 1 drone was actually shot down and 3 hit the oil refining equipment of the Pervy Zavod petrochemical plant in the village of Polotniani Zavod in Dzerdzinsk district. Well, if Astra said that, it must be true. I don't believe Astra. I don't believe, what's his name, Kaluga governor. I don't believe Ukrinform. We have to navigate through shit. I told you many times. Evidence, you have to have something confirmed by 3 sources, at least independent sources, about something occurring. That's in an intelligence community, but it's a different story. What we do like this. We imagine we are in a dark, long, about 10 meter, 12 meter long, or 12 yard long, 30 feet long, narrow passage in the night, and we have to go from here to there, and you're dressed nicely, and you come from a party or whatever you come from, and you have nice dress shoes, and you know that in a little passage there's shit, human shit, or feces on the ground, because people I need to, okay, they have urges and the needs, so you have to pass, and you barely can see them, and you have to jump around, and at the end you look back and you look at your soles and the shoes and you scrape them. That's the way I feel when I read these kind of things from everyone, from all the news, not only from the Ukrainians. I have a problem with Ukrainians. No, American, French, Russian, Romanian. Why? Because they have special interests. They have interest agendas. So again, what I can tell you, the Ukrainians definitely attacked that, and definitely at least one hit the target. Now, how many? I don't really care. The point is they hit it. But that's not the main reason of this video. Is just the Ukrainians successfully hit 1 Russian refinery. This is the main reason. This is the article. Ukrainska Pravda. Ukrainian drones hit 12% of Russia's oil refinery capacity per Bloomberg. Now, if that would happen, because this will turn into something else, will turn into this. Oil prices jump after Ukraine strikes Russian oil refineries. Do you think that the Americans will not smack the Ukrainians around for doing that? Because let me tell you this. Let's say I have 10 products, right? And I have 10 people, 10 buyers. So, supply and demand. So 10 buyers, 10 products. They know that if they buy it, let's say they don't have to fight too much. It's kind of like they all will get it. But all of a sudden, these imbeciles from, let's say, 10, they get it to, let's say, 8. 12% is 1 point, whatever. Let's get it to, I'm going to make it even worse. 5. I have 5 for 10 customers. Don't you think that I'm going to sell less, only 5, at a much higher price? So I'm going to save my resources right there. So instead of selling 10, I will sell 5 for probably the same revenue, because I have the same freaking demand. So who's an idiot here? So I have to work less for the same amount or the same revenue that I receive from the consumers. So the Russians will sell less for higher price, which probably will equal the same thing as they will sell the full amount. So they will save. That means they will be able to sell a longer time for a long time. Yeah, a longer time for because they will save their energy, their resources. So actually, you expand the war. But anyway, the Americans would have intervened and told these guys, shut the hell up, don't do it. But they don't. That means they have their own calculations. So let's look at the numbers now. So 12% of Russia's oil refining capacity. That means these guys want to destroy those guys' economy and industry. They say, well, the Russian Putin's war machine, blah, blah, blah. I told you, that's the same revenue. Attacked by Ukraine. And the problem is the customers will have less because they will have 10 customers to 5 pieces. So that means 5 customers don't have the gas, the refined oil. So that means their economy is going to implode. So is that an economic war global? I think so. Attacks by Ukrainian drones in the last 2 days have led to a shutdown of 3 oil refineries deep within Russian territory. They account for approximately 12% of Russia's entire oil refinery capacity. That means some customers will not have oil, refined oil. That means their economy is going to be sucking. And that's not going to be the United States of America. There's going to be the partners in Europe. The targets of the attacks were the Rosneft oil refinery in Ryazan, the Novoshaktinsk refinery, and Lukoil facility in Nizhny Novgorod Oblast. Plus, today's article right here in the Kaluga region. So that's 4. All right? So that's more than 12%. Because 12% was without Kaluga. Now we move to this and get some prices, right? Oil prices jump up after Ukraine strike Russian oil refineries. Crude oil futures jumped Wednesday after Ukraine struck refineries in Russia, underlying risks to production and fuel supplies from the war in Eastern Europe. The West Texas Intermediate contract for April gained, the West Texas Intermediate contract for April gained $2.16 or 2.78% to settle at 79.72 dollars a barrel. The Brent contract for May added $2.11 or 2.58% to settle at $84.03 a barrel. Ukraine's drones hit a Rosneft, boop, boop, beep, beep, beep. All right, the campaign of Ukrainian attacks, really? Okay. This year has hit refineries representing 25%. So hit refineries representing 25% of Russia's total refining capacity of 6.8 million barrels per day, according to Lipov. About 50% of the Russian refining capacity is within range of the Ukrainian drone attack, he said. Got that? Let's see what else is here. We're going to see a worsening of the situation for Moscow. This is very much aligned with Ukraine's goals in the war. We're seeing a staggering number of drones over the past couple of days. U.S. commercial cruise inventories, meanwhile, fell by 1.5 million barrels last week. According to the data from the Energy Information Administration, gasoline stocks declined by 5.7 million barrels, according to So, I think it's also an economic war between American interests or interests that could control the United States of America. Remember, those interests do not work for us. They do not. They use us. They use our resources, which is military, basically, the politician weasels, the mass media, which is owned by the same interest, and they use the might of the United States of America, which is still the big guy, to settle scores around the globe. If you have competition, cut you off. Competition, how? Militarily, with proxies by economic, military, and political means. All right? So we got that covered. If you don't believe me, just keep watching. Just reading, memorize, make a pattern, and you're going to find out that I was and I am right. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just. I wonder when the Russians will start doing the same thing to the Americans, what will the Americans gonna do? I already said it before. You can't do this to us. My pussy hurts. See you.